Hello and welcome to episode 22 of Nerd Church Radio DC Maz. I'm your host Ben Dupay, and this week we are going to be talking, as usual, some DC Rebirth titles. First off, before we begin, I just want to let you know that we are a spoiler podcast, so we will be spoiling all the books that we cover this week. Also want to let you know that we are having an iTunes review contest for the month of January. So if you give us an iTunes review in the month of January, you're entered into a chance to win a Batman Joker combination Funko Pop figure. That is something that you can't buy in stores anymore. It's only available through a loot crate that went out a few months back. So if you enter into the contest, you're entered into a chance to win that. You're also entered into a chance to win an Indie Comics t-shirt. And that's something that the co-host of our sister podcast, Indie Comic Ninja, created. So that's really nice shirt. It's a red baseball shirt that says Indie Comics across it. Really soft shirt, tri-blend shirt. And if you want to be entered into the contest a second time, all you have to do is give our sister podcast, Indie Comic Ninja, a review as well, and you're entered into the contest a second time. So I do want to thank anyone that's given us an iTunes review. I do want to let you know that we always want you to give us reviews. Let us know how we're doing. Subscribe to us on iTunes and write some words on there about how we're doing. And just share it around social media. You can find us on social media as Nerd Church Radio. And we did have some technical difficulties about halfway through the show, so if that got a little choppy, I apologize about that. But other than that, I will send you off to the show.
You could be my boss anytime.
She's become a mini comic book overlord over here.
Oh, yeah.
She's actually the only actual overlord out of all of us, because she's like the one with actual minions that like do what she says.
Yes.
I'm just a dude pretending to be an overlord.
Okay, so
We're live. We're live now, by the way.
I did.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I had.
Welcome to episode 22 of Nerd Church Radio. I'm your host, Ben Dupay.
I'm Bradley Butan.
I'm Noah O'Toole.
And I am Josh Aldini.
And we are your fake comic book overlords.
Ben's fake. I'm real.
Whatever. No, you're not. You're like the least.
I got
real.
the power of Grayskull, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have the
See
power.
how quick that shut him down? Yeah.
All right. I like it. So first off, before you get into anything, I think Brad had
I got something. Okay, so I've been holding on this for a few days. I listened to the show last week because I honestly wasn't here.
Because Brad wasn't here.
Uh-oh.
Being lazy.
Okay, for one, Emmy. Green Arrow's sister's name is Emmy.
Emiko.
Emmy. It's Emmy. Oliver calls her Emmy. And you were exactly right. I was like
you were
in my
screaming,
car.
weren't you?
Yeah. I'm like yelling, "It's Emmy! It's Emmy!" And then like
I knew it.
He's yelling in his car right now, and I'm like, "Oh!"
I knew you would be in your car just screaming at the radio.
Right.
Okay.
And
We know you so well.
And Noah's review of The Flash was awesome.
Did you love it? That was
loved it.
fun.
It was
Fun.
so
I can't
good.
wait to read. Yeah, this week's coming up issue.
That was a lot of fun, man. What you did last week,
thanks.
that was really cool.
Yeah. But no, I had a good week. Worked a lot.
Yeah.
That part wasn't really great.
This is
I was off on Monday. That was pretty cool. So a lot of
Nice.
family time.
I was
Nice,
too.
nice.
Yeah, that was pretty nice. Yeah.
I was
Yeah,
sick.
I was
but,
off until Monday night, and then I had to go out for 4 hours and salt everything because it
That
was an
sucks.
icy, horrible, frozen
Yeah.
over mess out there.
Yeah.
How about that freezing rain, though? That's pretty crazy, huh?
Dude,
Oh,
yeah.
man.
I was happy I was off work that day.
Yeah, the
'Cause-
roads
cold in.
really weren't too bad.
Yeah, what
but
a
man,
good
as
day
soon as
for
you-
nobody to have to travel, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
man.
As soon as you
Brad-
stepped into the parking lots, though, man, it was just slicker than...
Brad, I heard you had some trouble with the driveway.
Like, okay, so I have a narrow
learning
drive.
how to
I have a very narrow driveway and it's long. Like, I guess you guys know. And so every time I go get towards the house, I just start sliding towards the house, and I'm like, no insurance claims today.
There you go, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So,
how about you? How was your week?
Oh, it was pretty good. Just plugged away at school as usual.
Yeah.
Some good, cool cross-interest thing came out this week that had me pretty excited. They announced the release date of Injustice 2, the video game.
Dude, I saw the trailer for that. That looks sick.
And it looks sick, I know. I recently complained on the podcast, the Glitch podcast, that games nowadays all include like season passes, and it's like what happened to
I
the
hate
days
that, dude.
where $60 bought you everything.
Right.
And
What's
then
that podcast called? Just so listeners know?
it's called the Glitch
Therapy.
glitch therapy.
Glitch Therapy.
Check it out, Nerd Church Radio.
Check it out. But
Network.
where was I going with it? Oh yeah. Anyway, I was complaining about that, and then of course that comes out, and I went and dropped $100 on like the super ultimate edition for it, so that I can have all 9 characters, the three alternate skins for the 3 main characters, and so I'm just
I never even
pretty excited.
I never even played all the way through the first one, but I heard the story's
one?
pretty good.
Oh, the story's
Injustice.
fantastic. Injustice. Yeah. So who do you? I've heard a lot of people say they think the mystery character at the end before Darkseid was Brainiac.
Oh, spoiler alert! Spoiler alert!
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I mean I don't think that's a spoiler. You can get on the internet. There's pictures of it. Brainiac's definitely.
Oh, that is
Yeah.
him.
Yep.
Okay.
Definitely
cool.
in it. So he's considered.
Well, he had the blue light up stuff, so I thought it was maybe the guy from the Mobius chair, like watching or whatever and narrating, because he would make a really good narrator for a game
for something like this too, especially. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Did you guys see the Wrap announced a list of apparently the short list of who's going to be Green Lantern?
I don't
Hal
listen
Jordan?
to rap.
The Wrap, it's a website.
Got to make up for those puns while Travis
right.
has got by the way.
That was for you,
Hey,
Trav.
Josh.
That was for you, buddy.
Hey Josh, I've heard you listen to Vanilla Ice at least twice.
Hey, you got me.
Yeah. By the way, Travis.
All right, stop, collaborate, and listen, boys.
Travis had a child this week.
Congratulations,
Yeah.
Trav.
Travis
Very
is the daddy.
exciting. Does anyone remember the little guy's name?
Finn Evan.
Finn Evan Roseberry. So healthy child, looks very healthy. So
Yep.
gotta
Very
be
happy
excited.
for him, very
The
happy
dad
for him.
jokes are gonna be rolling in now after
Yeah.
that.
So the short list that for Green Lantern, I guess, is Joel McHale from Community.
and you're talking about for the movie,
for the
correct?
movie for
Yep.
Green
Okay.
Lantern Corps. And then, like I said, this is just from the Wrap. I don't know.
This is not confirmed.
They
at all.
say it's going to be
I-
a buddy space cop movie a la Lethal Weapon.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
it's gonna-
should be Lethal Weapon in space. That's what
Right.
that's what the Green Lantern Corps is. I mean,
Yeah.
they're space cops. So go
And
ahead.
Hal Jordan and John Stewart.
John Stewart, right.
And they're all super old, right? Well, a lot of them.
well,
Well,
I guess the Guardians are.
The Guardian.
yeah, the
They're like,
Guardians
we're
are,
too
yeah.
old for this shit. Let's get a bunch of lanterns to do our job for us.
Right?
yes.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise.
Oh, please no.
No,
I agree. I don't want him
God,
either.
no.
Bradley Cooper.
I don't know, dude.
No.
Tom Cruise does some magic, though. You can't.
No.
Come on.
See,
Come on.
I don't want. I don't. Know.
I don't want
see,
him on my
I don't want-
DC.
I don't want Tom Cruise. I don't want Bradley Cooper. Army Hammer would be okay from The Lone Ranger and The Man from Uncle. And he's already got history with Henry Cavill because he was in The Man from Uncle with him.
True.
Jake Gyllenhaal from Southpaw.
Jake Gyllenhaal, he can do anything.
See, and
So again, he's a little too
I-
famous for me.
I-
Again,
but
like
I mean,
some
he
of the
might.
other-
He can still immerse himself in a role to me. Like
Yeah.
I
He's
still
like
Oh, he's sure.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
see, I could see him as a Kyle Ratner maybe, but I can't
Oh,
see
yeah,
him as
Kyle
Hal
Rayner,
Hal
yeah.
Jordan.
Yeah.
And then they say Ryan Reynolds is on the list too.
No.
which
that's wrong.
that's the part that was like, okay, this can't be true.
I almost
But-
want that to be true, just so I could maybe see Blake Lively as Star Sapphire.
Yeah, it would be
That
nice.
is a great point.
Or
Right?
Or if he just turned into Deadpool in the middle of the movie, I would be okay with that too.
It would be nice just to have that movie still in continuity, but like Amanda Waller played a different person.
Yeah,
and that,
I highly
or
doubt
was
that's
played by a
gonna
different person.
happen. But you can always wish.
Josh can't have that. He needs Amanda Waller to be perfect in his
right.
movies
Yeah.
because he
That's
loves
right.
her so much. So yeah, no, that's exciting though. I'm excited for the Green
Yeah,
Lanterns movie.
out of all of them, I want Joel McHale.
Do you feel like they can effectively make a good Green Lanterns? I feel like that's the hardest superhero movie to make because it's so much CGI and stuff.
I don't know.
But I don't know.
I thought they did. I mean, it was cartoony, but I thought they did fine with like the TV animated show they did.
Dude, that
like,
animated show was awesome. Why it was only one season blows my mind.
At first glance, I was like, I don't
Oh,
know,
yeah,
it looks
the
kind of
animated
wonky,
stuff,
but
yeah.
when you watch it, it's really good.
Yeah,
but
they
for
had-
live action, that's what I worry about.
Yeah.
Is like
Yeah.
the CGI stuff. What
Right.
were you gonna say, Noah?
Oh, nothing. That was,
Oh, okay, cool. So yeah, what else? How are the comics this week for you guys?
Man, pretty awesome.
You think,
I thought so. Mine were anyway.
Josh?
The ones I got through, like Green Lanterns, was my pick of the week. But
Yeah, that was.
in
that
my
was
defense,
very
I didn't
much-
get through everything this week. Kind of had a crazy week, but the ones I got through, like Green Lantern, I thought was really good. I
Okay.
can't wait to talk about it.
What'd you think, Noah?
overall, I'd have to say pretty good actually. So
Yeah.
a few misses in there, but I'm sure we'll talk about that. So
Yeah, I felt like it was a bit of a confusing week myself in comics. I don't know, but we'll jump right into things here. I'll start things off with Justice League Suicide. Oh,
I was
Josh.
going to say, can I start with He-Man? Just get it out of the way,
Yeah, let's do
since
it.
it's kind of
Not
in its
part
own
of
world.
Rebirth. Yeah, sure.
All right, so let me get this pulled up here.
He-Man, I read that.
Did you get through it this week?
Dude, it was awesome.
Yeah, dude, it's good. It was a fun one. So
I
got
still haven't read an issue of that yet.
You're missing out,
I'm
man.
getting there,
You're
man.
missing out.
I will get
But
there.
hey, when the first graphic novel or whatever comes out, I'm totally getting it, and you can borrow it. So
Sounds good.
don't worry. All right, so we got He-Man Thundercats number 4, Clash of Titans. This is by Rob David, Lloyd Goldfine, Freddie Williams II, and Jeremy Colwell. And that's Freddie E. Williams II, excuse me. So we start off, Skeletor and Mumra merger is causing a lot of chaos, yet proven to be quite fruitful. The two are in control of the Ancients, and Eternia is being destroyed. Oh yeah, and He-Man's dead. Lionel
Yeah,
being...
don't forget that.
Yeah. He-Man died last issue, so...
Did he?
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Okay.
there's a big funeral for him at the end. Basically, he got stabbed through the chest as He-Man. When the sword got taken from him, turned back into Adam, he bled out and died, basically.
Oh wow.
So, Lionel, being the amazing king he is, he comes up with the plan. Lionel, and I meant to check this. I don't know if it's Kringer or Cringer. It's He-Man's tiger.
Cringer.
Cringer. That's how you say it. So, Lionel, Cringer, and Prince Adam's dead corpse make their way off-world. Lionel's bright idea is to go to the Black Pyramid on Third Earth. Now, remember, Third Earth and Eternia are basically right next to each other in the universe, and they're approaching each other, basically. So, Lionel flies back to their world. They go to Black Pyramid, which is Mumra's home, and he puts Adam's body in Mumra's sarcophagus, the tomb where Mumra uses his twisted energies to keep himself ever living. Surely this will work, right? Well, it does. By the power of Grayskull, I am evil He-Man. And an all-out battle breaks out between Lionel and He-Man. Luckily, Lionel is able to calm him using the Sword of Omens, Sight Beyond Sight. He-Man sees a future where Eternia is enslaved. I mean, he sees his father's head on a pike. He sees all the Thundercats in chains. Like, just the whole world's in ruins. And Skeletor and Mumra, of course, are at the helm. And it's just evil enough to bring He-Man back. The two shake hands, and they head back to Eternia. Skeletor and Mumra and the Ancients are at the doorstep of Castle Grayskull, and we'll have to find out what happens next in issue number 5, Too Late.
That was a quick recap.
Yeah, it was
good. Because normally the recaps on this one are, I mean, they're hefty books as far as like content
Yeah.
goes and stuff.
Yep. And they're very detailed with the action, and I'll be honest, my fanboydom like totally took over the first couple reviews with this, just because
Yeah.
it was just awesome. So I mean, I wanted to touch on every exciting detail that I could find and capture, but
It's kind of like me with Justice League Power Rangers a little bit.
yeah. But with you listeners out there, it's like I really want you guys to check out this comic. Like I said it a million times, if you're a He-Man or Thundercats fan, you'll love it. And basically, I mean, I want to let you know what's going on with the recap. That's what our show does. But like, I don't want to spoil every little awesome detail. So like,
Right.
I want to make sure people want to check it out. So, but another spectacular job. The story's staying very consistent. The action is awesome, and the drama is getting rather cartoony and silly at times. I mean, the banter between Skeletor and Mumra is just comical. And even some of the banter between like the Thundercats and like He-Man's guys. Like there's at one point where I can't remember which one, but one of the heroes in He-Man's world's like talking to the Thundercats, and he's all showing them their gun and stuff, and the Thundercats are all like, "Oh, well, this is pretty good for primitive technology, and if you did this, you could boost this, and blah 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 blah." And it was just like, I just found it like hilarious because Thundercats use like whips and swords and like
Right.
primitive stuff, but like they're just like dogging on these guys about their guns and whatnot. It was pretty good.
And when they when the Tiger and Lionel kind of merged together.
That wasn't a merger, dude. And I'm going to get to that in a second.
Okay.
So when He-Man first wakes up in his evil zombie state and just goes right after Lionel, Lionel's in trouble. So, I mean, he even has to, like, power up Super Saiyan style. And then, I mean, there's, like, one panel where it's both of them holding, like, equally large massive statues that they picked up off Mama's ground and, like, running at each other with them. I mean, it's just, like, comical because it was absurd. You know what I mean? And then Cringer even gets his inner cat powers unlocked at one point and unleashes a nasty beatdown on Monkey and some of the other lackeys. There's one part where him and Lionel's watching Adam's corpse, so he sends off He-Man's Tiger to basically go find out what some noise is or whatever. And if you guys don't know, like, He-Man's cat is like
Battle cat.
total pussy
Right.
cat. Like, I mean, just a tiger that's just like a house cat. But when He-Man powers up, or when Adam powers up and goes He-Man, like, Cringer gets powered up too, and he's just this
Becomes
massive
Battle Cat.
battle cat
Yeah.
awesomeness. So, but what Lionel does is, because he's talking to Cringer because they're both from the cat family, right? So he's
Right.
all like, let me see if the Sword of Omens can unlock your power. And I mean, you see Cringer just as a hulked out, like, humanoid looking beast monster.
Battle Cat.
Yeah.
Literal
like Battle
Thundercat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Battle
Does-
Thundercat for
does
sure.
he
dude.
say, give me power beyond power? Is that the frame you're talking about?
The power beyond power is, I think that's right when, is it when he's powering up?
He's holding like a sword with like...
Is he glowing red all
Yeah,
around?
yeah.
Yeah, that's when Lionel powered up
Oh,
just
that's
to
Lionel,
match.
okay.
He had to power up just to match like He-Man's strength.
I'm still learning about He-Man and
Yeah,
Thundercats,
sure.
so yeah.
Yeah.
And then so to elaborate on Lionel basically breaking He-Man, what he did was he used the sight beyond sight, which is like something that he can do with the sword. It basically gives him the power to see into the future, basically, and he can see what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And that's what he did to He-Man, and that's what broke He-Man out. But Lionel goes in to explain how, what the Sword of Omens provides them is just a possible future. But, like, that's why they provide it to him. That way, Lionel, being the king he is, he can take whatever steps he needs to like, make sure it doesn't happen or whatever. So it's like, there's like a couple different, and these are all throwbacks way from the show. And I mean, It's
Right.
just like, it took me back so many times. So overall, I mean, I had no complaints at all. I gave it a holy. It was an awesome issue. I still, like I said it many times already. Go check out this book, guys. It's awesome. It's good.
Sweet.
Brad, what would you rate this one?
Holy, it was
Holy, straight up?
Okay, this is the first one that I've read. I like the rest of it. I've kind of went through them when you're given the recaps on them.
sure.
But this one, I was like, oh, this is freaking awesome.
It's just fun, man.
Yeah,
it's
it's
just
fun.
like,
It's fun. I'd say,
I mean,
yeah.
sometimes the dialogue gets heavy, but it's mostly like when it's like Skeletor and Mumra talking.
Yeah.
But throughout the rest of it, it's pretty much just action all the time. That's why I love it. It's just action. And I mean, that's what you want with He-Man. I mean, he's just this huge hulking guy. You know, you just want him to break stuff.
For sure. I remember the Christmas I got Castle Grayskull from Santa.
Oh,
I was
nice.
so excited.
Oh,
That
yeah.
was, we used to
Was
have
that
He-Man
ki-
birthday parties, and that was... You just weren't cool unless you brought your latest He-Man
Sure.
toy for show and tell.
Right.
You know,
Sure.
So,
Was that kind of like the Ewok Village, sort of like a big play set that you set up? Do you remember that?
Yep.
Yeah.
I got the Ewok Village for my birthday one year too.
Oh,
That was
really?
like super
Oh,
exciting
nice.
as well. Yeah.
Did you keep any of those toys from when you were a kid?
No, I wish I did ask my dad as he was like moving all the stuff out of the fertile house.
Yeah.
If he said like, because I have I wanted like I used to have the Rancor monster, and
Oh,
things like that. I
right.
wanted a couple of them, but he's like, Star Wars toys. So
Yeah, right. Like,
It's like the aircraft carrier from G.I. Joe.
you didn't have that. But
I didn't
I had
either.
a friend
I
that did.
want- oh my
Dear
gosh,
God,
me
where
too.
you just and I was jealous of my friend that had Snake Mountain because it had the microphone, that you
Yeah,
talk
right.
into, and
Dude, my
Yeah.
cousin
Oh,
had
nostalgia.
my cousin had the Ninja Turtles sewer base.
oh sure, yeah.
Toy
I used to
set.
make my own out of cardboard.
And then he had what's Brain's big globe thing? The War Machine or whatever?
Technodrome?
Oh,
No,
the Technodrome shredders, Technodrome.
No.
Or
the
Krang.
Krang.
Yeah.
Isn't,
the brain.
isn't it like the whatever that big
His
machine
machine
is-
that he lives in. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
his android. I don't think
Oh.
it has a special name. It's just Krang. But
But my cousin had even a toy of that.
Cool.
And you could drop a part of it. It looked like the Death Star because a part of it would come down and you could push the eyeball off the top and it'd roll and like launch out.
Oh,
Nice.
cool. I
It
got
was
you.
awesome. It was awesome.
man, you guys are like speaking a different. I'm the baby of the podcast,
Yeah,
so a lot
yeah.
of this stuff goes straight over my head. So yeah,
Except for Go Power Rangers.
yeah, that's always going to be close to my heart. So speaking of which, new Power Rangers trailer looked pretty.
Yeah.
I haven't got to see the new one yet. Does it look pretty
Dude,
good?
it's awesome.
Oh yeah, they show Bryan Cranston as Zordon.
Yeah.
And I thought that was pretty cool.
Nice. I
They
didn't
also
Yeah.
know he was going to be
released
Zordon.
a new Logan trailer.
Yeah, Josh, did you see the new Logan trailer?
Oh, you're fired.
I saw it was out, but I hadn't watched it yet. No.
Noah?
I
Fire
watched
me
it.
from a
Yeah.
DC
Are
cast.
you aren't really a
I
big
know.
Marvel guy.
Yeah,
Well,
It's
I mean, there's
Wolverine.
certain Marvel books I do like,
Yeah.
but I mean, I just find Wolverine kind of like the Batman of the Marvel universe, and
Yeah.
just
not that interesting.
I'm not interested. There's just too much of him.
Yeah.
Ben and I were talking about this earlier. Like Marvel comics, the characters are awesome, but you just can't follow them.
Well, their books are kind of
it's confusing.
confusing,
I mean,
right?
I don't think it's always been that way though. I mean, like there was a time when Marvel had the up on DC with publications,
Without a
and
doubt,
stuff.
yeah.
So, so cool. All right. Well, I am actually going to pass things off to Noah.
Alrighty.
Yeah. What do you want to do for? Actually, I really want to. Do you want to do Superman, or do you want to? Do you want to do? You're probably excited about Batman, huh?
No, well, I'm down with all three. We can start with Superman. That'll be fun.
I was a little confused by this one, so I kind of wanted to hear what you guys
Okay.
thought about it.
All right, I've got something different again for you guys.
Awesome.
So,
Nice.
so
Oh, yeah,
we'll give
bring it
We'll give it a
on.
try. All right. Hello, and welcome to the DC Multiverse Travel Agency. My name is Noah, and I'll be your Multiverse Travel Agent today. Do you need a break from Earth Zero? We have 52 different Earths for you to choose from, each with their own Superman as a protector for your next multidimensional vacation. Let's get started. History is full of power-hungry men. These small-minded tyrants have used propaganda, intimidation, fear, torture, and war as a means to reign over those considered inferior. Their aggression, appalling. Their motives, disturbing. Their atrocities, heartbreaking. Have you ever wondered what the world would be like if Hitler won the Second World War? For those with a spirit of adventure and a curious mind who crave fast-paced action, look no further than Earth 10. In this reality, a rocket ship carrying a young Kal-El, that's K-A-L, capital L, crashed in Czechoslovakia and was quickly adopted by Adolf Hitler, where he became Overman. He is joined by Leatherwing, Brunhilde, Blitzen, and Underwaterman to form the Reich. But standing in their way as a true light in the darkest corner of the multiverse is a group of freedom fighters led by Uncle Sam and includes President Superman, the Ray, Black Condor, the Human Bomb, Phantom Lady, Dollman, and Doll Woman. Or, perhaps instead of an alternate reality, you'd prefer one a little in the future. One of the biggest desires of man is the gift of foresight. Unfortunately, no fortune tellers or crystal balls will help here on Earth Zero, but there's always Earth 12. Let me welcome you to Neo Gotham. You see, Earth 12 rotates on a slightly different frequency than other worlds in the multiverse, and it is a glimpse into our own Earth Zero's near future. Here, Bruce Wayne's successor, Terry McGinnis, has taken the mantle of Batman Beyond and helps an aging Superman fight crime alongside Green Lantern, Warhawk, Aquagirl, Big Barda, and Micron, who together form the Justice League Beyond. However, if actual fortune tellers, crystal balls, mysticism, and magic are what you desire, perhaps Earth 13 will be to your liking. Orbiting in a perpetual state of mystic twilight, Earth 13 is home to Etrigan, the rhyming superdemon. Rocketed to Earth 13 from the dying planet of Camelot, Etrigan became this world's protector. Known as Superdemon, he defends in the name of Merlin, along with Hellblazer, Anataz, Witchboy, Swampman, Fate, Deadman, and the Enchantress. They form the League of Shadows and fight the evil that threatens their world. Now, of course, if you all are in the mood for some wild, Wild West action, may I direct your attention to Earth 18. In this reality, the Time Trapper is responsible for freezing technology and culture on this world in the late 19th century. As a result, human ingenuity has been forced to adapt and transform the available resources into the modern conveniences that are often taken for granted in the 21st century. Led by Super Chief, the Justice Riders have vowed to protect this dust bowl of a planet in the multiverse. The Justice Riders are made up of Batlash, Madam 44, Strongbow, El Diablo, Cinnamon, the Trigger Twins, Firehair, Tomahawk, Johnny Thunder, and Powwow Smith.
So many characters.
This ain't the Wild West as you know it, partner. No, sir. With the arrival of superhuman beings, Earth-18 has been transformed into a whole different kind of frontier. Whether it's with superpowers, weapons, or martial arts, superheroes fight for peace. But what would it be like if there was no longer evil for any heroes to fight for? If you've ever wondered what it would be like if Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman actually defeated Lex Luthor, the Joker, and Cheetah for good, let me welcome you to Earth-16. In this reality, the heroes won. There are no more villains to battle. This leaves the next generation of heroes like Kyle Rayner, Wally West, Connor Hawke, Arrowette, and Damian Wayne to develop qualities that are more hedonistic than heroic. With no unifying purpose, these heroes spend their time reenacting past battles, living a pampered lifestyle, and attempting to boost their fans on social media.
Oh, wow.
Our last reality is for those of you who enjoyed the recent crossover, Justice League vs. Suicide Squad. On Earth-14, you can meet the Suicide League. Or perhaps they call themselves the Justice Squad. Oh, I'm sorry, I just received a memo. They are called the Justice League of Assassins. Either way, on Earth-14, the Justice League has merged with the Suicide Squad for a unique group of anti-heroes to protect you. Squad Superman is joined by Squad Wonder Woman, Squad Aquaman, Squad Harley, and Squad Flash. Perhaps all these different multiverses have you nervous to undertake interdimensional travel. Who protects the multiverse, you ask? Rest assured, any of the 52 Earths you visit are all under the watchful eye of the House of Heroes, located in the orrery of worlds safely away from the space-time continuum in the fifth dimension. The House of Heroes is a pan-dimensional satellite outside normal time and space orbiting the bleed space between universes. Many heroes from a variety of different multiverses fill the House of Heroes with champions to protect it. Calling themselves the Justice League Incarnate, they are led by Superman, Kal-El, all one word, from Earth-23, where everyone is African-American.
Oh, seriously?
Captain Carrot, from Earth-26, where animals speak and act like humans. Aquawoman, from Earth-11, where all the heroes' genders are reversed. Batman, from Earth-17, where a nuclear war in 1963 changed everything. Green Lantern from Earth-20, a pulpy sci-fi world. Red Racer from Earth-36, where familiar heroes have taken on different identities. Mary Bastion from Earth-5, also known as Thunderworld, home to the magical Marvel family. Machine Head from Earth-8, a world filled with neo-human heroes who are disliked by the public. And finally, Thunderer from Earth-7, a mere shell of what it used to be after befalling a cataclysm. They are here and ready in an extra-dimensional boat made of frozen music called the Ultima Thule. Vibrating at different frequencies, they have access to all 52 worlds to protect you from interdimensional bad guys like Prophecy and the Gatherers, who are, according to most recent quantum reports, attempting to collect all the supermen and superwomen of the multiverses for unknown nefarious reasons. Rest assured, interdimensional vacationers, the new Superman known as Clark Kent on your Earth is working with the Justice League Incarnate to quickly dispatch Prophecy. In the next issue, Our Superman at War. Thank you.
I like it.
Very good. Very good.
So what did you think of this issue?
I actually really, really liked it.
Yeah.
I like the multiverse, and I like getting to review it because I kind of got to dive in, obviously, and explore some of the different multiverses. I knew a few of them existed, and the book did a fun job of showing the different Earths, and I don't know, it just reminded me of back when Superman was more sci-fi, kind of back in the 50s, because this is a straight up sci-fi adventure. For sure. You know what I mean? We're talking space-time continuum, a magical boat made out of frozen music,
Was there a lot of like call-outs to or things that, because I was a little confused by it. Was there a lot of things from pre-New 52 and stuff that kind of
most of it was from Grant Morrison or Alan Moore. I think Alan Moore is the Multiverse.
Oh, okay.
And it's all kind of, legacy. A lot of this has been in DC continuity for a long time, and he recently brought it back in the New 52 for his Multiverse mini run, and then they're obviously drawing on that kind of still being in somewhat of continuity because all the different Earths are still the same. They've been that for decades.
And who's this last guy? Last couple pages. You may have said it in your recap. But there was a lot of names in that.
I know. I just like drop a bunch of which ones are
flaming. The guy with like the flaming skull. Yeah, that guy.
Oh, okay. That guy's Prophecy.
Okay.
And he's the main guy who's trying to collect all the super beings in the multiverse.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Okay, and we don't know why, but we saw him obliterate.
He's the Hand we saw in the end of the last issue.
Yeah. And he's the one that obliterated the Justice League of Assassins, the Suicide Squad one at the beginning of the book.
He's our bad guy.
He's our bad guy, right. So, it was super fun. It was sci-fi. I love Ed Benes.
Yeah.
Ed Benes is one of my favorite artists. So,
and has he been on Superman so far? I mean, like, has he been the consistent artist on this title?
I can't say that for sure because I don't know, but
Okay.
If the art looks familiar, then I would say, yeah, because, he's got a very distinct style of art. And one thing I have to give a shout out to, I just, I had a lot of fun with this book, but I see how it can be very confusing to somebody that might not be a longtime comic fan or know that like the multiverse exists and, stuff like that. So, I can see that kind of being a barrier. I really liked it. I was thrilled, and I don't know when she's been in it before, but the Uma Thul's or Ultima Thul's or whatever it's called, the ship's like artificial, or it wasn't the artificial intelligence is Harbinger. And Harbinger is back a character from 1983, Lila Michaels, and she was given special powers by the Monitor and possessed the history of the universe orb, which gave her an account of every heroic event. And most notably, I just love the Batman or Superman Batman Apocalypse series arc and movie.
Yeah, when she
dies
on Infinite Earths too, right?
Yeah, she played a big part in Crisis on Infinite Earths. Yep, and then she dies. She's killed by Darkseid's female Furies in Superman Batman Apocalypse.
Okay, cool.
Trying to protect Supergirl, so it was kind of cool to see her back in a cosmic role like that. So I gave this a holy. I thought the art was outstanding. I really liked the sci-fi aspect of it. I didn't expect
I'm a huge sci-fi fan
to
too.
like it. I'll be, it's funny because last time you guys, you had Wonder Woman, and then I think Travis had Wonder Woman the time before, and you were both like, oh, we have to rate Wonder Woman in front of Noah. And now, this time I have Batman and Superman, and I'm like, oh man, it's on the other foot now because I've got to do Batman and Superman in front of the guys that like those. So,
well, you nailed it, man.
Good, thanks. I thought it was a lot of
review.
fun, and if you like the multiverse and like kind of a sci-fi thing, I recommend digging into it. But I can see how it might be confusing. So, anybody else read it? What y'all think?
I read it. I just thought it was a good throwback. I just thought it was like, oh, this is fun.
Yeah.
I didn't really give it much more thought than that. I just thought it was like, cool.
Yeah, Crisis on Infinite Earths always kind of confused me. I don't think I've ever made it through that book just because it's a dense read, man. It's kind of like Watchmen to me. It's not something you can really like sit down and it's not a Saturday morning serial.
Right. You got to prepare yourself for it.
Yeah. I mean, you got to get ready to take some notes with that one. So yeah,
Sweet.
Yeah, cool. Brad.
Oh, all right. I'm going to start with Green Arrow number 15, written by Benjamin Percy and Juan Ferreira. We start this issue off with Oliver at the hospital visiting the red-headed reporter that the Dark Archer, who we now know as Malcolm Merlin.
She's not dead. Yay.
Yeah, exactly. I know. I'm reading it.
Redheaded recap lady.
Redheaded recap lady.
I'm like, all right, Ben's happy.
Yeah.
Here we get a wonderful quote. The Green Arrow says, "I'm no architect, but I've got my own plans, my own dream of what I wanted to accomplish as Green Arrow." I just thought that was really cool. Oliver is starting to regret becoming the Green Arrow as he thinks of all the people that wouldn't have been hurt if he had never become him. We then cut to a detention center where this weird green mist is killing the incarcerated so that they can purge Seattle of its filth. Here, they identify themselves as the Vice Squad, and the police, including Chief Westberg, are getting ready to have a confrontation. Oliver ends up getting a much-needed hug from Canary. They even have a Snickers moment.
Hungry? Why wait?
Exactly. Just when Oliver gets a confidence boost on why he is the Green Arrow, Diggle busts in and tells them that of the situation at the detention center and describes it as a war zone. Chief Westberg ends up getting the upper hand on the Vice Squad, and they are on the run. Team Green Arrow stop the leader of the Vice Squad, which is Manning, but in the process, the Vice Squad gets the upper hand on Team Green Arrow. Just when you think that this is it for Green Arrow, there's a red arrow that pierces Manning through the arm or the hand and saves his life. For you guys that haven't read this, who do you think would be shooting a red arrow?
Emiko?
Red Arrow?
Speedy.
Speedy, no. Red
Emiko?
Arrow. Well, it is red. It's Emmy.
Arsenal.
Yeah, that's right, folks. We have
Red Arrow Arsenal. Yeah.
Yep, we have a new red arrow in the form of Oliver's sister, Emmy. The one that you guys couldn't think of last week.
Right.
Yeah, I know, right?
She looks badass.
Yeah, she really does. Is this new for her, like this outfit?
Partial, yeah. I mean, she had the mask and she had the Converse shoes. She's always, those are kind of her things. But the more ninja
I didn't
looking,
notice the Converse shoes. That's cool.
yeah, the untied Converse
Yeah.
shoes, yeah. I really like this book, man. This book was awesome. Everything about it was good. I love the art. I like the flow of the book. I like the reveal with Emmy. And to be honest, I knew she was out there, but there wasn't really any mentioning of her. I think he did mention her in the last issue, just briefly,
Oh, okay.
or maybe it was like 2 issues ago or something. But yeah, I wasn't expecting it, so that was good.
Yeah, I was expecting that last splash page to be the Arrow Killer or whatever.
Yeah, Malcolm Merlin.
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
The one thing I didn't like about the book is Manning's hair. The main bad guy, the leader of the Vice Squad, who was a police officer, but his hair, he's got this long hair. I don't know.
It's a very like Bucky Barnes type.
I was gonna
look
say,
that
he
he
looks
has
like
going
the
on.
Winter Soldier kind
Yeah,
of.
he does.
Right.
Yeah.
I didn't like that. But other than that, it's really the only thing I could really say I didn't like about the book. I rated this as holy.
Very cool.
Sure, that surprises anybody.
That's cool.
Yeah, Brad
That's
rating
cool.
Green Arrow holy.
Yeah,
That's new, right? All right. So next up, I am gonna take Justice League Suicide Squad number 5. So this one's story by Joshua Williamson and art by Robson Roca. So in this book, Maxwell Lord has, quote, saved the world by forcing the Justice League to take control of it. But Batman, Deadshot, Lobo, and Waller were trapped under an avalanche of debris in Bel Rev when Max Lord was taking control of everyone. So the 4 of them are okay, well, sort of. Superman shows up and takes Waller to go get some one-on-one time with Max Lord. So Lobo's head is kind of like growing back, which is cool, like Men in
That was
Black.
a very cool scene.
Men in Black
Do you
type
have
thing.
any idea how much that hurts?
That's like the best impersonation. Good work, Josh. And with that new head comes a brand new brain.
His head really was growing back when that happened.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I like that sort of thing where like he has a brand new brain, and so like Max Lord's power isn't working over him anymore. or
Right, that was
whatever.
a smart.
I didn't even
Smart-
make that
smart
connection
plot
until you
wise,
guys.
yeah.
Until you guys said that, that didn't even click.
Yeah. So he's like becoming slowly aware of the fact that Lord was controlling him and wants, red hot revenge on Lord. So he wants to frag him, which I'm not sure if that's a term of endearment or a.
No.
I'm doubting
You
it.
want to kill me or take me on a date? I don't know.
One
So,
thing I can say about this scene was I was just like, wow, like Lobo gives none.
Right.
No F's whatsoever, because he wakes up, he's like, Batman, you blew me up. And then he's just like, that stupid Max Lord.
Yeah, I know, right?
That's so
He's like,
awesome.
thumbs up, knuckle bump.
Yeah,
he's
Lobo's just like, all right, whatever. What's next? Let's smash things.
So, meanwhile, Cyborg's hanging out at Bel Rev with all the other members of the Suicide Squad and is supposed to be killing them, but Cyborg installed some kind of backup plan for his machine side that allows him to not be controlled. So, like, the human side is still controlled by the Eclipso Diamond. Or what do they call the diamond in this one?
The
black
dark
di-
opal
or the
or the black
Black
opal?
diamond,
The black
isn't it?
diamond. I can't.
Yeah.
it's just the black diamond.
The black
isn't it?
diamond. Yeah, I think so.
I thought it was
Or
like
the
one of
Eclipso diamond.
I thought it was one of the silliest names. It was like the black hard diamond or something. It reminded me of like in the Titanic, like the heart of the ocean.
The heart of the ocean, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
it was
my
just
gosh.
a little silly.
But I thought the old lady dropped it in the ocean at the end.
Yeah, right. Yeah, from Ant-Man. Yeah. So Bats and
Britney
his
Spears.
team. Oh, yeah.
Sorry, I don't mean to
no,
jump
go
in,
ahead,
but
Josh.
I like how you said that the Cyborg's just hanging out with the Suicide Squad instead of getting pummeled by like all of them.
Yeah, I really liked it too.
I really liked it too.
Sorry. So Bats and his team show up to where Cyborg is at, and they decide that they're all going to need to work together to get past the Justice League and to Max Lord. Meanwhile, Lord and Waller are chilling, and Lord is trying to show Waller how cool the world that he created is. He's like, "Look at this great world! I did it!" So it turns out he's actually seeing like a vision of what he thinks the world looks like, but it's actually like this flaming hellhole, and it's just the Eclipso Diamond controlling him and giving him visions of a perfect world. So Waller kind of like pimp slaps him across the face or whatever, which totally
Backhands him.
Yeah, which was a totally like Amanda Waller thing to do, I thought. And then Lord finally realizes that he's being controlled. Around this time, Bats and the Suicide Squad show up outside the White House to try and get Lord away from the diamond, but it's too late. Lord starts throwing up black stuff and morphs into Eclipso, who we see in a final splash page saying, "This world belongs to me." And the end, to be continued in the conclusion. So what did you guys think of this?
Okay, I liked the story. I just didn't like the way they drew the infected Justice League with this diamond thing. I don't know. I don't know what I would have done different. I guess maybe not like half faces.
Right.
I don't know. Or like maybe not like one line. Like make it not a shape of a diamond, something. But like I just couldn't get over that the entire time. But that's about my biggest complaint.
Ben, I wanted to ask you on the panel where Amanda Waller said backhand bitch slap to Max Lord. How do you feel about how that was drawn? Did anybody catch this?
Yeah. So how you're asking how I felt
How the
about
physics
how
of it
was
work,
drawn?
or-
Yeah, look at
'Cause
the
she's-
physics of
yeah.
this action. I found it humorous because it was like
The
watching
backhand is slapping the wrong cheek.
it was like watching a bad like movie, where
Yeah,
they do
his
the
face-
slap but
the
there's
old-
no contact and they go the wrong way.
I feel like a crime scene investigator. Like the face would be going in the opposite direction. The face would be going that way,
Right.
but it's actually going towards us.
Return of the Jedi when Luke jumps on that little ship and does that kick that's like a mile away and the guy's like, "Ah!"
Exactly. It was like a movie magic at its finest. I don't know. That was one panel that stood out to me because it was it was such an awesome slap. But then I was just like, wait a minute, his face going.
Right. Yeah.
My wife's like fake slapping me. She's like, I wish I could do this.
Hey, she's
Hold
the
on,
wall, okay? She can do it.
That's right.
Yeah.
She'll find a way.
I liked it. I didn't. I wasn't too distracted by the way they drew the Justice League members myself. I kind of associate that with Eclipso because his symbol's kind of like a half, a circle being eclipsed, and so that was kind of like the crescent,
metaphor.
the metaphor, right?
Sure.
How they kind of like
Their
show the
faces
infected or
their faces are like eclipsed basically.
Yeah.
By darkness.
right,
Okay, yeah, I
or
guess
by
I can see
evil,
that.
or
Yeah.
yeah. So I didn't mind that so much. So, but I mean, overall, I definitely dug it. It was fun. I mean, I like that they all just pick up right where the last one left off, and you can read a cohesive, fun story each week.
Now I gotta. So is this villain? Is this like a new villain, or has he been in existence
Oh,
for
no.
some time?
Eclipso's pretty old. Yeah.
So is this how he always works? Though, is he basically like a parasite takes over his host body?
You know what?
Well, basically, what I'm getting at is, are they going to be able to potentially save Max Lord, or are they just going to have to kill it altogether?
I'm sure somehow they'll be able to re-imprison him back in the
diamond.
In
or
the
something.
diamond, yeah.
That's one thing I was thinking about. I was like, man, where are they going to go from here? Because this is a villain that's like, you can get the other villain back.
Right.
Brad's just like busting out of his skin over here. What's up?
Oh, nothing.
No, I want to know what is. No. Oh, it wasn't about Eclipso or anything?
No, it wasn't
Oh, okay.
something different. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I thought you were talking about Eclipso. Yeah, I thought, I don't know, like I was expecting a way cooler image of Eclipso in the end, I thought.
Yeah, I definitely kind of in of the thought that this hasn't been as good as the previous ones, but the previous ones set a really high bar too. You know what I mean? So this was still great. You know, I don't want to make it seem like inferior to the other ones, but
Sure.
But you know,
Yeah, I think I give it a holy still.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was still a great
I'm with
issue.
you. Yeah, I thought it
absolutely.
was still a good read.
I know I can't wait for the next one.
Yeah, why is that?
Huh? Well, just because
Just
the
conclusion.
finale.
See
Yeah,
where it
we're
goes.
gonna see what happens.
Yeah, I'm excited for it too. I'm hoping like it kind of builds up to something really cool because Trinity is the other book that I talk about this week, and it really started strong for me. But this week, did anyone else read Trinity?
Oh, I sure did.
What
didn't get
did
to
you
that
think of it?
I'm kind of in the same boat with you. There's definitely a lot of it I really liked, and there were also, for the first time, parts of it I really didn't.
Yeah,
And previously it was almost all
yeah.
So
I agree.
With this issue, though, I think this had one of the best intros I think I've read in a comic book so far. Like, I love the way they opened up this issue. Within 2 minutes, Flash had disabled all the military warheads.
Right.
Within 5 minutes, the Green Lanterns have encased the world.
Yeah,
Within
10,
7, Cyborg shut down everything. I thought that was one of the best tone setting intros I've read in a comic book. It was just here
I
we
agree.
go.
And then within 10
awesome.
pages, Batman blows the head off of Loba.
Yeah, dude. It was crazy. It was a good read.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, so...
Actually, let me jump in. Let me take the Justice League next because it's a tie-in for this.
there you go. That
sounds
a good
good.
idea.
So
all right.
we can kind of transition. I can kind of ride Ben's good vibes. That sounded weird.
Yes, it did.
Is in
No
the Ultima
comment,
Thule.
buddy. No comment.
Writing vibes in the Ultima Thule.
All right.
Bite the tongue.
So the reason I wanted to go next is because I have Justice League number, if I can get my notes up here,
13.
number 13. And it is a Justice League versus Suicide Squad tie-in.
Oh, I didn't realize it was a tie-in. I didn't.
Yeah,
read
it's a tie-in. That's why I want to go. I mean, it parallels your book completely. All right, so let's see here. So Justice League number 13, Justice League vs. Suicide Squad tie-in by Tim Seeley, Scott Eaton, Wayne Faucher, and Gabe Eltabe. So Master Chief Steve Trevor is getting ready to head home when the ground shakes and the shit hits the fan. Superman has attacked the White House and basically everything else that happened in the Justice League vs. Suicide Squad issue. But we get to see Master Chief figure out the League's being controlled basically on his own. He saw one glimpse of Superman's face and he knew what was up. Steve Trevor also spent some time with the League to kind of learn as much as he could about them. He was training to basically be a liaison between the League and Earth. So let's see here. Steve was supposed to meet up with his sister and her kids, but he is then attacked by a blue-faced zombie-like monster. And from there, it turns into an across-town, Fear the Walking Dead style kind of episode. Steve encounters many people who are turning into blue-faced monsters. When he finally makes it to his sister's house, he sees probably the most terrifying thing an uncle with no kids of his own could probably witness. His sister is tied to a chair with his demon-possessed niece and nephew dancing around her, gouging her with red-hot metal pokers. Steve, now convinced the children are lost, he busts in to save his sister and points his gun at the children. Suddenly, everything goes dark. Steve hears a creepy voice say lots of evil, creepy things. The voice challenges Steve to fight him. Steve suddenly wakes up, and his sister is embracing her children who are normal once again. They hug, and Steve opens up the window to let in the morning sun. With the morning coming, Steve tells him that he thinks everything will be all right. The sun is then taken by shadows, and Steve hears the voice once again, only this time to welcome him into the world of Eclipso. Steve then turns into a blue-faced monster as well. So I thought this was okay, but it just kind of felt like any zombie movie / show that you get nowadays, but with, a DC style to it. I don't know much about Steve Trevor other than that he's a big part of the Wonder Woman books, but I'm not sure why they went with Steve Trevor as the main focal point in a Justice League book. Mostly it was just a weird side story to kind of show what's happening to the world due to Eclipso. I mean, I don't know if they just wanted to elaborate on it more. Maybe that's why they took this opportunity to do it. This way they kind of show how normal people are being impacted. I mean, I don't really know, but I gave it a purgatory / low blessing. I mean, it wasn't a god-awful story, but I went with that rating just because I'm going into a Justice League book expecting to see some Justice League stuff, and I think all we got, which this is one thing I'll say I kind of dug the eclipsing of the face, but there's one part where Steve Trevor's like hiding under a bridge as he's making a way across town. He's got some people with him, and Wonder Woman goes flying overhead, and he doesn't realize that she somehow, I don't know how he didn't realize if she had the Senate floor under her control, but he hollered out to her thinking she'd come help him, and she like turns to him. And you get like normal Wonder Woman face with the blue shadow, and then the next panel is just like same exact pose and everything, except her face just goes full demon.
Yeah.
Like I thought that was a pretty cool little transition right there. But I mean, yeah, it was just weird. It was just a weird read.
I like the normal people aspect of, I don't know, like I like doing that in DC and Marvel books, kind of like they did that in Civil War too, and that was pretty
I just
cool.
don't get why they didn't do like kind of what me and Noah were talking about, why they didn't do like a Steve Trevor Rebirth
One shot.
or something like that.
I
You know
agree.
what I mean?
Yeah, that would've been cool.
Because it was just really, you got the Justice League in the title for one, you got the Justice League versus Suicide Squad tie-in on the title for two, so you're like, oh yeah, this is going to tie right in, and then it's just a side story about Steve Trevor.
Yeah.
I didn't like Steve with the goatee. I mean, I don't
How
know.
did you feel about that, Noah?
What, Steve with the goatee or the issue?
Both.
Or both.
Both.
I don't mind Steve with the goatee. We'll start with that. Because
I thought it was Oliver Queen at first, to be honest.
I know that's what I'm
well,
it's like too close.
the
but-
Wonder Woman book has been flashing from the past to the present, and,
sure,
Steve Trevor was kind of like a hunky, beardless, military guy in the past, shirtless military guy in the past, exactly. And now he's definitely more haggard. He's been through a lot.
Sure.
He's got the goatee's a lot. He's a lot thinner, and he has been through a lot. And he is kind of the government liaison to the Justice League, and he has been in past incarnations and things.
Oh, I didn't know that.
As well, yeah, just because of his connection to Wonder Woman and the Justice League.
Sure.
The New 52 did that a lot. They really kind of tried to build him up as that. So I liked it a little better than I would have just given it a blessing. If it would have been a Steve Trevor standalone, like one shot, I probably would have done better.
Yeah,
but
sure.
I went into this looking for a little bit more of a Justice League story and was surprised to find it was all Steve Trevor.
Sure.
But I like Steve Trevor, and I did really like that you said the Walking Dead feel to it, because that was exactly what it was like, and it was quite an adventure to read. So, there were some cool positive things about it, but it was just kind of a little off, just like, oh, did the cover get put on wrong, or what's
They mislabeled this title?
yeah.
So.
Very cool.
Cool. All right. Well, let's keep moving along. And Noah, what do you got next?
All right, we're gonna do another very good book, Batman number 15.
Yes.
Rooftops Part 2. First, I have to start at the very beginning, and that's the cover. Right? The cover is just the cover is a beautiful painting almost of Batman and Catwoman on the rooftops together. But what struck me as so kind of cool about it was the knife in her hand. Near the story, it captures the beauty and the danger of the Batman Catwoman relationship right from the cover.
Sure. Yeah, well said.
I dug that. Like I said, the Batman Catwoman dynamic never gets old for me. From Adam West flirting with Julie Newmar or Eartha Kitt in the 1966 Batman series to Michael Keaton and Michelle Pfeiffer in 1992's Batman Returns, up to Batman number 15 today, written by Tom King with art by Mitch Gerads. Right now in 2017. This issue heavily relies on the Batman Catwoman dynamic that was so much fun to read, starting with the I Am Suicide story arc. And this issue just proves how much there is to explore there. Batman is faced with the knowledge he has to send his lover back into custody to face justice for her 237 counts of murder. Batman, of course, wants her to go quietly and accept a plea deal, and she wants nothing more than one final night of freedom with her favorite playmate and boy toy. Exactly. Bruce, of course, succumbs to Selina's will, and the issue picks up right where Batman number 14 left off, and that's with Batman and Catwoman on the rooftops basking in the afterglow of passionate lovemaking.
Oh, yeah.
Like how I said that in the most PC way I could.
I was like, wow, that was really clean.
Your Waka chickas were a little premature, buddy.
They were. I knew you'd get there.
It's the first time it's ever happened to me. It's never happened to me before.
Sure.
It is tender. And from the very beginning, Batman lets his guard down for her. I love you, Bat, she says. I love you, Cat, he replies. I hate soap operas generally, but I live for the Batman and Catwoman melodrama.
Right.
Sure.
Mostly because we see a different side of Batman, not
Right.
a bat god like he usually is with his perfect genius, but one who, at the end of the day, is essentially just a man.
It's his
Right.
weakness. Catwoman
Yeah.
is
It's his
probably
kryptonite.
Batman's biggest weakness.
Yeah. And, you know,
Yeah,
This-
never really thought about it
Yeah.
like that, but I guess you're right.
There's such a spot in the Batman mythos story or whatever that Catwoman has to be in.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep. Sorry, we were talking about
Sorry,
that.
I didn't
No,
mean to
yeah, we're all
interrupt
good. But right with him, you know, it shows his vulnerability, and he's not a bat god. You know what I mean?
Right.
Where he can't do anything wrong, where his genius is infallible.
Okay, I gotta say this real quick. So, do you think that Batman was prepared?
Oh, like
Is he packing a bat rubber? Is that what you're asking?
Like, does he have a spot in the utility belt? Or,
My bat condom.
I don't know. There are lots of pockets, so
yeah,
you never know.
The
But
real question is it shaped like a bat?
I'm sure there's a bat logo on
Is
it.
that the real question, Josh? Oh god, I had to know that this issue was going to spawn some interesting discussion.
Right.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. All right.
I'll bite my tongue for the rest of it.
So Batman's vulnerability might disappoint some fans, especially when we get to the final outcome of the book here. But I love, like I said, the vulnerability we see in Bruce Wayne. They reminisce about the first time they met. It was the rooftop, said Bruce. It was the street, insists Selina. You were in disguise as an older woman. White hair, pink-black dress. Batman remembers it in the art style of the Batman era it represents, right down to the coloring like a panel from a Bill Finger, Bob Kane era Batman book.
Yes.
No. You were in disguise, Catwoman corrects him in the adjacent panel. The art here is an image of Bruce Wayne disguised as in a burglar beanie hat and jacket from his 1987 Batman Year One appearance. The sequence is a beautiful one, not only because each memory channels the appropriate iconic Batman imagery that it took place, but because it shows the writer did his homework and paid some proper respect to Batman and Catwoman's long history.
That's why I love having you on the show, because I would have never have known
Caught
those,
that.
Yeah, I wouldn't have known those instances.
Right,
That's pretty
yeah.
cool. Yeah.
No, I caught you saving poor Holly, said Batman. Trying to save poor Holly, corrected Catwoman. Holly being Holly Robinson, and I got very excited to see her name again. Holly Robinson's first appearance was in Batman 404, which is coincidentally the 1987 Batman Year One story arc.
Nice.
She quickly became a fan favorite of mine. She served as a friend and ally to Catwoman, and even took the mantle of Catwoman in 2006. The Catwoman-Holly relationship is a lot like the Batman-Robin relationship, and that's why I love it so much. It gave some depth and character to the Catwoman character. And in The Dark Knight Rises, Juno Temple played a character named Jen, who is exactly the same character as Holly. I don't know why they didn't just call her Holly in the movie, but
Because they wanted to make you mad. No.
apparently because it did. That's the one thing I was like, "Damn you, Nolan!" Yeah, basically. We see Bat and Cat slip back into their clothing, and then we see Catwoman giving Batman the slip too, diving right off the rooftop. Batman dives after her, but it's too late. She's gone. He frantically radios Alfred, needing some information on Holly Robinson. Selina let it slip that she knew her, and Bruce suspects that's where she might have gone. Ah, I see, sir, says Alfred. She ran, Batman replies.
Go figure, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Commissioner Gordon is in his boxers brushing his teeth. He bends over the sink to spit out his toothpaste, and when he stands back up, bam, there's a shadow of Batman lurking behind him. He's like, holy! And there's a wonderful conversation between Batman and Commissioner Gordon that masterfully captures their rapport. And the Dark Knight asks him for a favor concerning information on Holly Robinson since Catwoman is on the run. Catwoman, Commissioner Gordon says, wasn't she doing Blackgate last night? Weren't you supposed to bring her in? Jim, Batman replies. Yeah, Jim. Commissioner Gordon sighs as he picks up the phone to call Harvey Bullock and get Batman the whereabouts of Holly. So we finally now see Holly Robinson, who is surprised to find Batman in her safe house. Batman pleads with her to help him find Selina. He tells Holly Selina is the only one who understands who and what he is, and that he knows Selina's innocent of the murders and he can help her if he can only find her. Holly confesses Selina gave her a phone, and he can have it if it will help. She goes to get the phone out of the nightstand, only it's not a phone at all. Holly has a knife, and with a swift spin, she slices Batman's neck.
Holy moly.
Yeah, I thought that was a gun when she went to grab for it too.
Oh, right.
Yeah, but like, yeah,
And it'd be a knife. Yep, she turns slash. And
I'm still a little surprised that like Batman. I don't know, man. I expect more from his cowl, I think, than to be sliced by just some random. Because like,
And to underestimate like just like a little lady like that. It's like, come on, Batman.
well,
like,
no,
you're always on guard.
But in Batman v Superman, someone shot him in the head, and his cowl blocked the bullet.
Right. Well, but if he has like a Kevlar lined cowl, it would block bullets. But you
Won't
can
block
still
a
stab a
knife.
bulletproof vest.
Oh, can you?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
Yeah.
Okay.
It'll go right through it. So
I guess that makes sense.
But one of the things I was talking about, how fans might not, true Batman fans might not like this issue, and it was because of this.
Right.
Wouldn't he be more on guard? But
Yeah.
it's what I loved about it was that he wasn't on guard. His guard was
Emotions.
down because of Selina.
Oh, yeah, that
And
makes
that's,
sense.
that's the way I
and
took it too.
he was completely right, and I think that's great.
Right.
It's like finally,
Yeah, she got the slip on him, and he's pissed. He's like, okay.
well, he's
I
not only
like-
pissed, but he's dying. He's like
Right.
bleeding out.
I like
yeah.
that though. That's, I mean, the one thing that can take this guy off his guard, because this is the guy that can slip, Hal Jordan's ring off his finger while he's standing there.
Right.
This is the guy that can get one over on Soups if he wants to, and
Well, I mean-
Catwoman enters the picture with a romantic interest, and
Well, and Batman's thing is, yes, you're maybe stronger, you may be smarter, but I'm more prepared, and that has been questioned now because he's obviously, Catwoman got one on him.
Yeah. Well, not only did Catwoman got one on him, but her sidekick Holly got one on him
right.
too. I mean, we're getting a
Absolutely,
double
right.
whammy on him. So yeah, and so she slices his neck. Batman begins to bleed out on the floor before he comes to. Alfred's been trying to radio in to tell Bruce that Catherine Ann Turley, which is the alias Holly Robinson uses, has booked a last-minute one-way flight to another country, but there's no response. Sir, Alfred calls out over the radio. Master Bruce! Batman is losing blood and consciousness fast, but being Batman, he refuses to quit and still tries to grapple from the rooftop only to fail. We watch as Batman falls helplessly from a several-story building to his death below, when suddenly a black leather bullwhip lashes down from above and wraps itself around Batman's arm, saving him from certain death. Tomorrow, they can have my life without parole, says Catwoman as she pulls an unconscious Batman safely to the rooftop. But tonight, it's hers. Catwoman cradles a broken and bloody Batman, sadness all over her face. You see, bats are always upside down, she whispers in his ear. Didn't I tell you? You catch me. Back at Wayne Manor, Bruce Wayne is still unconscious, but his wound has been cared for and he's resting in bed. Selina Kyle sits over him, telling Alfred the story of her and Holly. She knew Holly was an angry young woman from day one when they were in the orphanage together. Selina trained her, tried to help her, but couldn't because of all the anger Holly harbored. Then when the orphanage, their home, burned to the ground, her anger couldn't be contained. 237. Holly killed 237 people, and Selina was the one that taught her how to do it. Selina knew that Bruce would come for Holly, find her, catch her, and then they, as in the people, the judge, the jury, would kill her. So Selina had to keep helping her friend, and in between these panels, we see Holly getting on a plane and taking off. As Selina begins to leave, she turns to Alfred and asks him to relay a message. Tell him it was the streets. She's sure of it. Alfred assures her he will relay the message, but asks how Bruce can find her again, to which she replies, there are so many rooftops in this city. I'm bound to be on one of them. Our final page shows a 6-panel back and forth between Bruce and Alfred. They are in the Batcave and Bruce is putting on the cowl again. She took it, Alfred. She took it just like it belonged to her, like it always had belonged to her. She stole it, he yells, clearly upset. I don't understand, replies Alfred. He inventoried the mansion after Selina left. Nothing had been taken. What did she steal, sir? The night, Alfred, replied Batman. She stole the night. And next, I Am Bane, Part 1.
yeah.
So that was a
What
great
did you-
book.
Yeah, I agree with this. So what did you rate this? I got to know.
I absolutely gave it Salvation.
Excellent.
I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. The artwork
The
was
throwback art. like you
the
said.
throwback art was
Amazing.
amazing. The other artwork just throughout the book was super detailed. The fluidity and motion of like when they were getting dressed and she leaps off the thing. I mean, you could just see that happening.
Right.
It was outstanding. Like I said, I love that Batman's not perfect and Catwoman is what saves him. If anybody's played the Arkham game, the Arkham City one.
Arkham City, yeah.
When you take over as Catwoman in one of the things, you have the opportunity to save Batman, and you can not. And if you don't, the game ends and he dies. And
That's it,
Catwoman's literally required to save him. And that was one of my favorite things about the game, just because I liked them as a yin and yang.
Right.
And they.
I didn't remember that part of the game, but I've played all. Man, it's been a while since I played that one. So
Yeah,
I think,
Oracle comes on and kind of like announces that the thugs have taken over and everything's fallen, and then you restart as Catwoman and you have to go save.
Wasn't it like a DLC or something for it? I think
Yeah,
it was
no,
like an
you-
expansion or something, I thought.
yeah, I never got the DLC with Catwoman. Was that just part of the normal story mode?
I thought it was.
It came out.
it? Okay.
Arkham City, it just came with Batman and Catwoman. Now you could
Okay.
buy DLC that included some extra levels and Robin and
Batgirl.
Nightwing.
Oh, okay, cool.
okay.
Nightwing, yeah. Batgirl didn't come to this last one.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, I just bought. Actually, they remastered Asylum and City for Xbox One and PS4.
Right.
Is that
Yeah.
out? And did you get that?
Yeah, I grabbed it.
cool.
Yeah.
Was it a 2-for-1 deal?
Yep.
Oh,
It's
nice.
like $50, I think, for both
That's
of them.
actually
So
not
That might be
bad.
worth picking up. I
Yeah.
played Asylum. I didn't get all the way through.
Asylum was
City.
great.
that was my favorite one.
Asylum
I know
was
City,
nuts.
City
was
was
yours.
mine
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah.
I think
Asylum
City was probably my
nuts.
favorite too.
Yeah, it
So-
was.
So no, I gotta ask you. So this storybook, the rooftops,
Right,
1 and
right.
2. Do you think that's gonna be probably one of the best Batman Catwoman stories?
I sure think so. I'm amazed at how good this was, and I want Tom King and Mitch Gerads on a Catwoman solo book. Last
see
time,
that.
That'd be good.
she's had her here's and there's in the 90s. I think of the Jim Balin one in the purple outfit with the
Right.
giant boobs and it's just ridiculous 90s bad girl art.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
her reboot in the New 52 that kind of started out with the same Batman Catwoman lovemaking thing, and none of them did it as well as this does, and
think
I hope
so,
it sets
too.
the precedence,
Yeah.
for future
I agree.
stories
Yeah.
like this. So.
I mean, these two issues are the definition of what a good salvation is, because
Yeah.
it is something that people, down the road, hey, what's a good story with Batman, Catwoman, rooftops?
this literally evoked emotion. In
Oh,
I wonder
yeah.
if they're going to publish just a mini graphic novel.
I would buy it.
Yeah.
I'd buy it.
Is that even, has that been done before, like a 2-issue graphic novel?
Well, I guess they have these are
I
only
don't know.
21 pages.
Yeah.
So
Well, I guess. Death in the Family, isn't that like 2 books from 2 different
No, Death-
arcs?
that one spanned a couple.
No, that one's like a 6-issue story arc.
But I mean, they're not from like the same arc.
Well, are we talking about Death of the Family or Death in the Family?
The one when
Jason
Robin
Todd.
dies.
Oh, I don't know. It would probably.
I
be the person
don't
to
actually.
ask.
That was so long. I
Well,
don't remember how many issues that took place, and
But I know it was from different arcs though, because like
That
it
could- yeah,
tells
very
you
well
like
be.
the issue numbers are from, and it like jumps around, and you can see like the art
The
change.
art style change.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Yep.
that makes
So,
sense.
cool.
Cool.
well, let's keep moving. All
Yeah.
right, who is next?
Yeah, I'll go.
Ben, I
Gonna
think
go ahead.
you're up.
Okay.
All right, cool. So I'm going to cover Trinity number 5 with story and art by Francis Manapul. He's a beast.
yes.
Although one of those things suffered in this issue.
Yes, it did.
And I'm going to say story is the one that suffered, but I'm getting ahead of myself here. Poison Ivy is telling Lois and Jonathan about how she came from a place called the Green, where she met a tiny girl that helped her survive. Then Mongol showed up and ruined everything by taking the kid away from Ivy, which woke Ivy from this dream world called the Green. So Ivy's trying to get the kid back by communicating with the kid through the Green. Still with me?
Yep.
So then the reason she went to Kent Farm is because she sensed something drawing a bunch of solar radiation at that farm, and that apparently helps her communicate with the Green and the child in the Green. How? I don't know. They
Because
don't really...
sunlight and UV rays make things grow.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, and okay, they explain that at the end too. Yeah, okay. And so while Ivy is telling Lois all this, Lois is just like, I don't care. You're a psycho. You tried to hurt my kid. You got my husband all chained up
Right.
here. Why are we talking right now? But anyway, meanwhile, in the dream world, Bats, Soups, and Diana are fighting Mongol, and we find out that this kid is actually Mongol's daughter. Mongol tells the team that they're not actually in their own dream, but they're actually in his dream world. He tells them that this place is called the Black Mercies world, which I thought it was the green, but I guess that's a different sect of this dream world, whatever. So this is basically a fantasy world where he can sit and kill heroes all the livelong day. It's like his fantasy world. So for me, it would be like a pizza farm. That would be my black. But anyway, whatever. But the Black Mercy gifted Mongol a daughter after so long of killing heroes all day, and his life was perfect until Poison Ivy showed up and started making the Black Mercy all green and pretty. So Mongol sent Poison Ivy back to the real world, which is apparently going to let her escape somehow. Let her kid. This is where I kind of got lost. So back on Kemp Farms, Ivy tells Lois that she needs something so bright that her daughter can see it from the other side, and that bright thing is Superman. So that's where we leave off. So I feel like it just de-escalated quickly, though. I feel like this was one of the things I was the most excited about when Rebirth kind of got going and was really in its prime, which I hope we haven't passed that yet, but I feel like with some I'm getting a little fatigued with some of the stuff. Like I just feel like there are certain things that don't need to be bi-weekly. But this one is actually a monthly title, and I don't know. I just feel like it pulled like a kind of classic DC Comics thing and piddled out a little bit in the end. The whole thing with the green and the Black Mercy is just, I get it now that I read it back. It makes more sense to me. But I don't know. Do you guys think it maybe could have been communicated a little better?
Yeah, I think so.
I think it suffers from a case of like how Superman dealt with stuff that probably a more somebody with a few years reading might recognize versus, because I actually really really liked it. The Black Mercy is a plant. There's a very famous story. It's called For the Man Who Has Everything. And Batman, Robin, and Wonder Woman go to the Fortress of Solitude for Superman's birthday. And they get there, and Mongol's there. Mm-hmm. And he has imprisoned Superman, and there's this black plant on his chest. And it's the Black Mercy plant. And it keeps him in a dreamlike state where, he's just there, and Mongol is gonna, kill him. So Mongol has these gauntlets to let him touch it, because otherwise, if you touch the Black Mercy plant, you go into this dream world. But since it's a plant, that's how it's connected to the green, because the green is in the DC universe where all plant life is connected. So Poison Ivy is connected to the green, Swamp Thing's connected to the green, versus like the red, which is where all biological animals are connected. So like Vixen draws her powers from the red.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Sweet, me neither.
That's cool.
But so, like in this Mongol story, I like, because it almost kind of, that's the most famous Mongol story, and this seems to keep that in continuity in a way, because when we left it, long story short, Batman, Wonder Woman, and Robin get it off Superman, and Mongol touches it, and he becomes imprisoned in the Black.
So they kind of
thing. So that's where we last saw him.
Sure.
The Black
being
Mercy.
imprisoned in the Black Mercy.
Where else have we seen the Black Mercy pop up in Rebirth? Because I feel like we've seen it somewhere else.
Doesn't sound familiar to me.
Yeah, I'm not.
Maybe it's just the black thing on the chest. That seemed like something from Wonder Woman.
Or I wonder if maybe Swamp Thing referenced something in that Superman issue. Maybe
that could have been.
Maybe that's what you're thinking. Maybe
no. In Wonder Woman, they had like black, like tree-like things on their chest.
Oh yeah, that's like the Ares symbol, though. That doesn't have any connection.
Okay. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
This.
Okay,
but I also like kind of building on all the stuff that's happened. So they with the Mongol thing and the Black Mercy. Then they mentioned with her daughter, there was a great Poison Ivy miniseries called The Circle of Life and Death. That came out during the New 52, and she worked as a scientist, because she is a brilliant scientist, and she was working on plant-human hybrids. And all of the research people started dying, and so clearly that kind of points to her as a suspect, but of course it wasn't her, and so it was a pretty good thing. But she ends up having 3 little, she calls them sporelings, and they grow up to be kind of Poison Ivy type,
minions.
Young women themselves and children, and she was distraught after she lost him, and so I kind of like that she has this Mother Earthly like connection and wants her children back and wants this child. And I kind of feel bad that she was deceived that it's actually Mongol's daughter, and she due to the infection of kind of like the Black Mercy and the green, she can't really tell, I guess, the difference between what's what. I don't know. My big complaint though on the thing was that she's got Clark Kent, Bruce Wayne, and Diana Prince, tied up, and Poison Ivy is a brilliant scientist, probably one of the most brilliant women in the DC universe,
right?
And she can't tell that these giant behemoth
right
people are not Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman.
She makes like
and
a
she's
little
staring them right in the face and makes a comment about how do you know Bruce Wayne, and I'm like, oh.
Seriously?
My God.
Come on,
that
man.
disappointed me because obviously I'm a super big Poison Ivy fan, and so I was like, she is not that stupid. She's not that stupid. But I guess they have to keep the secret identity.
I guess. I don't know.
Do you think that Poison Ivy, like Catwoman, have gone far enough that they're not really villains anymore?
Well,
sort of. Catwoman, I always will say, has, for a long time been an anti-hero.
Yeah.
Poison Ivy, I still think of as a villain,
she
with
wants,
not so, that's not necessarily mean. You know what I mean? She's not mean.
the way
doesn't she
I
want
always
humans to die and to plants to reclaim
so,
everything?
I mean, given the choice, but she's good friends with Harley. I mean, I love her and Harley have this BFF thing going on, and I love that. And
the way I always described her,
she's a little bit of an anti-hero now, but
it was like she cares more about Mother Earth than she cares about
Huge
people.
hippie.
Well, yes, yeah, I guess, sure, yeah.
Superpowered hippie.
And like, if the choice ever comes down to man or plants, she's gonna choose plants.
she's an eco-terrorist. It's kind of like her.
Yep.
But I think it's kind of like one of those, like if humans don't get in the way of that, then she's not going to go out of her way to really hurt humans anymore, from what I've seen in the comics.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's been some time. I mean, she has definitely had an evil streak. They had some very villainous moments
Back
for her,
in the day.
but they've been definitely going the route of more sort of an anti-hero. Cool. I would have given it myself a blessing. It's been holy up until now, but.
Yeah,
that was a little bit too big of a plot hole for me as a Poison Ivy fan to get over. But I liked the Black Mercy Mongol thing myself. It kind of was nostalgic for me back from that old adventure I liked. So
I feel like there was a lot of that nostalgia this week.
Yeah, I agree.
For pre-New 52 fans.
Yes,
and me being someone that's not a pre-New 52 fan. I just
you just don't. If you didn't read it, then how would you know? Yeah.
So. I gave it a purgatory.
Right.
Yeah, just it left kind of a bland and confusing taste in my mouth. I don't know. But I think if I had read all that stuff before, maybe it's just like it's like being in a group of people and they're telling inside jokes.
Right.
You're left kind of
I don't get it. This isn't fun for me.
This is awkward.
Yeah.
Whatever. That's kind of how I felt during this.
I think I would have given it a WTF.
Yeah. But I do think it's going to continue to improve. I don't know. I think we're in for a cool finale.
I think so too. I mean, it's a good story.
I still give the story arc. I think it probably got it down to a low holy for me. But I mean, the previous issues have been really creative and fun.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah. All right. Cool. So
cool. Let's keep moving on. Actually, I'm going to go last.
Okay.
So I'll go ahead and go.
Yep.
And let's see here. So my last book for this week was Green Lantern's number 15.
Sweet.
A Day in the Life.
Sounds like a reality show.
Yeah.
Or a Beatles song.
Yeah. That's good. I
Day
like
in the
that.
life.
I like
All
that.
you need is love. A day in the life.
So this is wow. You went Beatles and disco. That's weird.
All right.
That's weird. You broke my brain for a second, Brad.
Yeah.
All right.
You're
so
welcome.
This is by Sam Humphries, Miguel Mendonca, Scott Hanna, and Blonde. This was a pretty serious emotional roller coaster for me. Ben, did you have a chance to read this one?
I did, and I freaking I actually tweeted at Humphreys right after I read it tonight, and just because I liked it a lot. Because, I deal with the anxiety stuff, so a lot of it rang really true for me,
Sure.
But, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I know you had said that you had struggled with anxiety before. I have myself a bit, too. I mean, I think everyone has in a way, but for some people it's a quite different experience, than others. So, but in this issue, it really dove into Jessica Cruz and her struggle with anxiety. She goes from being so gridlocked with it that she can't even get up in the morning and get out of bed, to overcoming that and saving the world. Her and Simon, let's see here. Her and Simon then move on to the next task, and Simon has no problem getting right back into action. But Jessica gets stonewalled by anxiety once again, which almost got her in some serious trouble. Luckily, Simon was there and had her back. Jessica works through her struggles and has to remind herself that they are just thoughts and fears, things that cannot define her, day after day after day. There's even a brilliant shot where she is standing in her room, in her PJs, with her ring on, powering up, with the look that fear can't touch, after she overcame another anxiety attack. The book also touches on Simon identifying what's happening to her, and he works through showing her that they are a team, and he's there for her, whatever she needs. She struggles with bringing these concerns to him, and by the end, because of him, she's finally able to talk to him about it. And you can see the two are only going to become stronger together. So I thought this was an awesome read, because a lot of the thoughts that she has throughout the book, like I've struggled with some of those exact thoughts, like myself.
Yeah, same here.
The ones that I really have struggled with sometimes is just being afraid to tell somebody about what's going on in your mind, because you feel like it's your like silly problem, and when you like hear yourself starting to talk about it, like you get in your head that it's like silly, and you're afraid if you talk to somebody, you're just burdening them with your silliness, like that was like something that like really was relatable for me, just because like that's something that I've noticed in myself just struggling with over the years. Let's see here, and the art was fantastic as always, and even though this was mostly about Jessica's struggle, there was some good action in it and some very good feel-good moments. I thought it was very, 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 very well written. Humphreys, you're the man.
That feel-good moment when there was a flood in Georgia, and she had that raft with all the people and the dogs they saved from the flood. When I saw those two wet dogs shaking on her like constructed raft, I was like, oh yeah, there's yep, you got me. That was how you do it. That was how you do it. Yep.
The end is what like hit me the hardest, just because it's like he was at the diner and she didn't meet him up with him for pancakes. And
he showed up. Yeah,
he realized something was up, and then like she finally gets herself out of bed and drags herself in the kitchen. He's like there making pancakes for her.
It's really
letting
cool.
her know is like, I'm here, whatever you need.
Yeah,
like I'm here, like we're a team. Let's we'll get through this together. So it was really awesome, and that's why, like I said, that like these two I think are just going to become just more and more and more powerful. Yeah, because it's like their strengths and weaknesses just feed off each other.
I agree.
When she's weak, like invulnerable, and something happens to her, like Simon snaps. He's got that like that protective father vibe,
as a big brother, little
big
sister
brother,
thing,
that kind of relationship. It's like anybody that Simon considers family, like Simon will have his struggles, but if you mess with that, like he will just lose it, and like you're in trouble.
Well, especially the way that the two started, because they started off, I mean, like
not really digging each other,
right.
Yeah.
But this issue, like, definitely makes this is what the new Green Lantern movie needs to be. It needs to be Simon and Jessica.
Yeah, I would dig that.
Oh, that would be cool.
Yeah.
I mean,
Michelle Rodriguez would need to play. That's just my humble opinion.
Yeah.
So as far
the girl from Fairly Legal or the girl from Quantico, I think would probably pull her off better.
Oh boy, I don't watch Quantico. I'll have to look that up.
Yeah.
So as far as my rating, I gave it a holy. Again, It had some action in it, but it was like little snippets of what they were doing. But I just really liked how it focused on like the individual hero, and you got like that mental struggle that they can go through. It's like, I mean, people like Superman. It's like, Superman kind of knows what he's capable of, and he knows like he's got to do what he's got to do. But like the Green Lanterns, like Jessica and Simon, like they're very relatable because they're humans. They were fortunate enough to be chosen to wear this ring, Yeah. And it's like they go through the same struggles that any human does.
Yeah.
And it was just really interesting to see like a Green Lantern, someone who controls willpower basically, really struggle, but then just like seeing why they were chosen as a Green Lantern is because she can do that. She can overcome it. It's just it was an awesome.
She's a really important character.
Awesome read.
I think I didn't know. I remember when she was first introduced. I wasn't sure if I was glad, but then I mean she just quickly that security really just, I think, hits home for a lot of people, and it kind of gives you the feeling that even with my insecurities, I can be a superhero too. You know,
absolutely. Yeah.
But like, I mean, with me, she kind of just felt really whiny at first.
Yeah.
But now I see where they're developing the character. And now it's just like it's brilliant because they didn't just make her seem whiny and leave it at that. They like really built off of it, and it was just really
if you're
cool.
Walking Dead fans, she reminds me a little bit of Carol. Just how she started out being like the abused, put down, and then grew out and is growing into, you know, you got to watch her evolution,
right?
Yeah, that's
grow
true.
into a powerful figure.
Sure. So
Yeah,
Her
awesome.
and Killer Frost are probably two of my favorites right now.
Cool,
That I feel are important of the overall story of Rebirth.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, Travis and I were kind of harping on her a couple weeks back because it was like they were riding the anxiety thing really hard, right? And it's like, I get it, but it's also like,
I mean, I was with you guys too.
You want that moment where she like gets over it, and we got that moment. And it was really gratifying for me to see that because, like, you know, I struggle with it. It's pretty cool, but then I like the fact that they went back to this after that.
They threw her right back into an attack.
Because, like, you know, I mean, when you think about it, like, I don't know, man. Like, I struggle with it. I have times where I totally freaking conquer it, you know, and like I like ace stuff, you know, like job interview, whatever, like, you know, a show or something, you know, I'll kill it, right? But like then there's other times like later on, it's like you never really conquer it, you know. It's and the way she described it is like this is her like her Joker or this is her kryptonite,
right?
You know?
Yep.
And that's totally like my kryptonite, you know. Like I think that's a lot of people's kryptonite, you know. That's a real life, like that's the one obstacle, you know, that's always there. It never really goes away. It gets better, and you find ways to cope with it or whatever. But yeah, I really like the way that Humphreys approached her problems with anxiety. That was pretty cool. Yeah. So awesome.
Sweet. All right, let's keep moving.
All right, I think it's my turn.
Yes, sir.
All right, my last book of the night is Nightwing number 13, Bloodhaven Part 4, written by Tim Seeley, with art by Marcus Toe and color by Chris Sotomayor. So this kind of starts out with Nightwing and his own group of like C-list villains is forming their own kind of Suicide Squad type thing, and I thought, well, with, you know, the whole Suicide Squad and Flash's Rogues thing I did last time, maybe these people deserve their own flashy intro. I mean, you know, what could go wrong, right?
Right.
So, Blue Oyster Cult, Don't Fear the Reaper.
Okay.
Okay.
Fear the Reaper.
Codename Thrill Devil.
I need more
I
cowbell.
need more cowbell.
Oh, I forgot about that. Codename Thrill Devil. Real name unknown. First appearance Nightwing number 46 from 2000. Powers none. Highly proficient motorbike driver chased out of Gotham by Batman.
Nice.
Sweet.
If Evil
Really?
King Evil was bad.
I know. I was like, okay. Well, that's okay. Well, let's just move on. All right, so next one.
let's go.
Next one. Village People, Macho Man. Macho Man.
Okay.
Codename Stallion. Real name Randy Hanrahan. First appearance Nightwing number 4 from 1997. Powers none.
None at all.
Ex-Dallas Cowboy football player turned killer bouncer for the Penguin. Chased out of Gotham by Batman. Randy, and again with no powers. Oh my God, Randy! Don't even get me started on the name. He's a hyper masculine gay dude with the name Stallion and a giant blazing saddle horse tattooed on his chest.
Wow, stereotypes are real.
Moving on.
He's a Cowboys
big
fan.
way.
What can I say?
I guess. All right, next. The Buggles. Video killed the radio star.
Video killed the radio star.
And I'm really reaching on some music selection. All right. Codename.
I got your back, Noah. I got
Thank
your
you,
back.
thank you. Codename Mouse. Mouse. Oh my God. Real name Pamela Swigeld. First appearance Robin number 18 from 1995. Powers. You guessed it. None. Driven out of Gotham by Batman. She's just your stereotypical girl genius hacker who works with her boyfriend Giz. Speaking of which, let's just get it over with. Okay, Styx, Mr. Roboto, Domi Oregato, Mr. Roboto, blah, blah, blah. Codename Giz, real name unknown. First appearance Catwoman number 28 from 1996. Powers none. Another computer hacking expert chased out of Gotham by Batman and who frequently carries around a pet squirrel named Goober. All right, I'm done. Goober's not getting a song, and clearly these D-list villains are no Rogues Gallery or Suicide Squad. Instead, they are the aptly named Runoffs and are a supervillain support group for villains driven out of Gotham by Batman, because, we've never seen that before. And just like their name, they run off after the 5th page, leaving Nightwing to solve the mystery of the serial killer in Bloodhaven alone.
Who are their friend? He's
Right.
He's trying to clear one of their friends of murder, and the other one is being framed for it, and they're running off.
And they're out.
Good
They're
job,
done.
guys.
Yep. Good job.
Good job. Don't ever befriend me.
Exactly.
Right. I'm gonna unlike you.
See, somebody is killing off members of some secret organization trying to control smuggling of illegal weapons in Bloodhaven. Real estate magnate Carter Forsyth was the most recently killed. That's the one they've all just stumbled upon. Before he dies, he reveals to Nightwing that Mayor Madrigal is next. So we cut to Detective Svoboda, some unusual Swedish name, I guess. I really don't know how to pronounce it. Yeah. But she's a blonde, cigar-chomping policewoman who doesn't really care for the masked hero types. And she has Sean Sang, also known as the Defacer, in custody. She realizes that Defacer and Gorilla Grimm were both framed for these murders, and that the killer is still on the loose in Bloodhaven. So, cut to, the mayor of Bloodhaven gets a phone call informing him of Forsyth's death, and suddenly he is attacked by the Bloodhaven serial killer, but not before Nightwing leaps through the window to protect him. Imagine Nightwing's surprise when he sees himself. Actually sees the killer in a cheap Halloween Nightwing mask. The masked serial killer has these gauntlets, I guess, that increase his strength, so that's why they thought it was Gorilla Grimm. And he's got teletubes, apparently. I would have called it a boom tube, which they use to open portals. 2 City Hall employees named Sherry and Simon rush in after hearing this commotion just in time to see the masked imposter throw the mayor out the window. But no worries, he's saved by Defacer, who rockets in on her rocket-powered spray paint boots or something equally as stupid.
Yeah.
Nightwing pulls the mask off and surprise, surprise, it's Jimmy Nice, the city's budget analysis and volunteer at Bloodhaven Community Center.
You gotta watch those budget analysis nerds.
Exactly.
I don't know, whatever.
Jimmy Nice kidnaps Cherry and opens a boom tube and escapes just as the cops burst in and start shooting at Nightwing. He escapes and coincidentally runs into Defacer, who ushers him into the alley, only to be face-to-face with the cigar-chomping Swedish detective lady. Next, end of the road. This book was a little bit of the end of the road for me, to be honest, if you can't tell.
Shots fired.
I reviewed Nightwing number 10 a while back, and that was the start of this arc, and it doesn't seem like I missed much. Seriously, this felt like I could have picked up right where I left off at number 10. Issue 10 was where we met Jimmy Nice, and it was super obvious from the get-go that he was the main antagonist of this whole story, not to mention his on-the-nose last name. I mean, what guy named Jimmy Nice doesn't end up being a bad guy at the end?
Right, yeah.
So, I mean, for me, it was kind of stuck in purgatory. I appreciate these villains are actual, F-list villains that were driven out of Gotham by Batman and Robin and ended up in Bloodhaven. And so I appreciate that legacy thing they've been doing. Obviously, throwbacks to legacy characters have been huge in this week. Everything seems to have some type of a throwback to pre-New 52. But I didn't find the runoffs very compelling or interesting. And yeah, it was just stuck in purgatory for me.
Maybe they should start an emo band instead.
Perhaps.
A bunch of sad sacks,
I gotta throw my 2 cents in here
Yeah.
because I am a huge Nightwing fan, and I would have given this blasphemy.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
I was even
really?
generous then, huh?
I hated this issue.
Look at that. No, you worried for nothing.
Right?
This issue, and I really, really liked hey, I want to talk out my problems. I want to figure out. I want to do better. But like I was saying, when they turned their back on Nightwing, I was done. I'm like, okay. I'm like,
The
he's-
runoff's a runoff.
and I get that, but I feel like
Well, they were runoffs from Gotham. Yeah.
Right, the emotional impact that the story has been trying to set just backfiring on him. And I'm like, okay, yeah. So I mean, I'm still gonna read it. I'm a huge Nightwing fan, but I like the other issues up until this, and I mean, literally, it's probably. I mean, holy crap!
Yeah. That's good.
Good segue through the issues.
Any other thoughts on this book? Can we be done with this one?
I didn't read it.
I give it
yeah.
I purgatory it, I think.
Okay.
Like, I don't know, man. The thing is about it is, like, I've listened to podcasts from New 52, and I know there was a lot of good Grayson stuff in the New 52. I really want Grayson to get a good book. Like,
I agree. He deserves a good.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he's older than Wonder Woman.
I feel like he's not a hard character to write either. Like, I feel like you give someone a Grayson book, it shouldn't be that hard to write a good title. So,
does any of you wish that when Rebirth happened, they would have started over with Bruce finding Dick Grayson and Dick Grayson being the only Robin?
No.
Okay. No, because
I like the Damien route.
I like seeing flashback stories of that,
Right.
but there's just so much history and so many
With all the
Robins and
Robins,
things,
yeah.
and
Yeah,
that
you
screw up the
lose
Teen Titans.
Red
and,
Hood and
there'd
the
be a lot of
Outlaws.
the Outlaws. Yeah.
I mean, I would like to see a cool story, maybe just like an arc of Nightwing and the other Robins.
Oh, that'd be a blast. I would love
mean, but
I love
yeah,
the
I
Robins.
mean,
I don't
but
know, man. Like,
If Robin, Nightwing, and Red Hood all did a team up.
and Spoiler and
yeah.
No, none of them. But
Detective
Spoiler's was Robin for a while.
Was she?
oh, that's right. Yeah, Stephanie. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep,
Oh,
Stephanie
that's
Brown.
cool.
Very, very briefly.
Very, very briefly,
Like,
but
I knew about Carrie Keller.
Jason
Kelly.
Kelly. Carrie Kelly, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of a almost an Elseworlds thing. That's not like
Yeah.
in continuity exactly.
Not
but,
really. No. Yeah. I guess that's Frank.
But it's still. I mean,
Millerland.
she's still
Yeah.
a Robin. Yeah.
Frank Miller Land. I like how he
Right,
has
Frank
his
Miller.
own
Yeah, there you
world.
go. I like that. Yeah, he's his own. He's his own.
He
I guess
has his own
there's
DC
53
verse.
planets in the multiverse now instead of 52. And yeah, number 53 is Frank Miller
Yeah,
World.
well,
Hopefully they'll discover that and give him like his own series. Again.
Yeah,
It's a sick, twisted world.
It is a sick twist, yeah.
Yeah, it really is.
You thought the Nazi Superman was dark.
That guy
Wait till
is-
you get to Frank Miller's Earth.
But that was important at the time because Batman had become this really cheesy character. And they brought out the real gritty,
Some
dark
yeah,
Batman.
yeah.
you know? And like that was a big development for that character. So
So we got one more book to do, and let's go ahead and do it.
Take it away, buddy.
All right, I'm going to talk about Justice League of America Rebirth, The Ray.
Can I just say I'm getting more excited for Justice League of America with
Dude,
each one of these issues?
You are not kidding me too. So like, before I start this, I knew absolutely nothing about this character. So I reading it and going through it, I was so surprised. So this is the origin of the Ray. We start off with a young lad on his birthday who we find out is apparently allergic to light, and is pretty much by himself, besides a friend that isn't allowed to hang out with him anymore named Caden. Ray is starting to feel the pressures and wants to feel the sunlight just once, even if it kills him. We fast forward 10 years, and Ray decides to leave and finds out that he won't die, but does have a little incident while trying to meet some new people, and decides that it's easier to turn invisible. After the incident, he travels invisible for 4 years and decides to check in on his buddy Caden. He ends up in Vanity, Oregon, where Caden is running for mayor. He then ghosts at the rally that Caden is at. Just then, a member of the Sons of Liberty, who are causing a ruckus and threaten to mess things up at this rally. So Ray feels it's time to stop being invisible and saves the day. The confrontation is what it took for Ray to stop living as a ghost and walking in the light. He makes some friends, even goes on a date with a guy. And this book was awesome.
yeah, I really enjoyed it. Actually,
The
I
writing
actually
was
thought
good.
it was kind of unpatriotic. Like, how dare you strike down the Captain America wannabe like that?
The writing was good. The art was fitting for the story. Man, it was just awesome. This to me was the best book of the week.
Wow.
Oh wow!
I mean, that kind of changes maybe a little bit with Green Lantern because I didn't read it before this, but I can't say anything bad about it. I can't say anything ugly about it. I did right away. I went and picked up some more stuff about the Ray. There was even a mention of Happy. Mm-hmm. Okay, and that Happy is the original Ray.
Yeah.
Which I thought was really cool.
Very cool.
So there's 4
Paying
Rays.
homage to the
There's 4 Rays out there. Well, probably not anymore.
not more, but throughout
this is the
continuity there has been, right?
Right. So, and this one stayed pretty close to the origin of the second one. So I thought that was pretty neat. So,
And he's the first openly gay superhero, isn't he? In the DC world?
No, there's still. Well, you count Midnighter and Apollo
oh, that's true. I forgot about
heroes. They're heroes.
Him.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah,
anti-hero. Well,
But they're heroes.
they're heroes.
Yeah.
Right.
They're heroes. Yeah.
On their Earth.
And
yeah.
Alan Scott, Green Lantern,
Yeah.
is rebooted as gay. He wasn't gay back in
Okay.
the
Right.
30s or whatever, obviously.
Yeah.
But
That's my fault. I shouldn't have believed Wikipedia.
well, I guess I could. I did.
They got
You know,
me.
well, Alan Scott is one of those characters I wish they
He's
would
not
do something
originally.
with.
Yeah.
Are we talking like when you say first? Do you mean like published, or do you mean like in the continuity? Like
They made it
I wonder
sound-
what they mean.
What I read I thought it was saying that it was the first published like openly gay like males.
Well, he
lead
was
superhero.
1940, so I mean, like he was golden age.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if this was like initially when he came out or like.
Or
I
years
highly
later.
doubt there was a gay character
Yeah,
in
I
the
mean, I
40s.
think-
Yeah, I
just
was gonna
I think
say,
that
yeah.
was more like later in time.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
So, are we going to do the after show?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So then I'm going to keep the rest for the after show. But did anybody else have any thoughts about this book?
I thought
Any
it-
disagreements with Salvation?
I didn't get it read, unfortunately, but if you really liked it that much, I certainly am going to read it. Yeah.
man, it's so good.
I thought it was pretty good. I mean, it was a little weird just because it's different.
Yeah.
I think he kind of has some similarities because he can create constructs and whatnot. So I'm wondering
Yeah.
how similar he's going to be to like a Green Lantern. But at the same time, he can do so much more. So
Right.
I think they can do some really cool stuff with this guy.
And that's the thing, like, because like they always talk about illusions. He's creating illusions, which is like magic is just mirrors and whatever, blah blah, moving light, and that's
Right.
I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, like I think he's got a cool superpower. I'm excited to see what they do with it.
Yeah, man. I mean, like after reading more about him, like, okay, this dude could be awesome.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah,
so-
it's an interesting superpower for sure.
right. And the people that are going to be doing the Justice League of America, I mean, or I'm sorry, Batman's Justice League of America.
So awesome.
I
Which
I know.
I think that Justice League versus Suicide Squad is going to lead into that because he was the only, Superman
When not-
blew into the
Right.
White House,
Right.
so
Just like they
they're
say
gonna
in
be
Suicide Squad.
they're going to be pissed. The president, the U.S. government is going to be pissed off at the Justice League. They're going to be like, Batman, you were the only one that wasn't taking control,
Right,
which was really just happenstance.
That was going to be one of the points I was going to bring up in the
Yeah.
after show too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like but I think that's why he's going to lead the Justice League of America. So yeah,
Sweet.
be pretty cool. Awesome. So yeah, if you guys want to keep listening to us, we are going to do a post show. You can find us on patreon.com/nerdchurchradio, where you can donate just $1 per month and get access to a weekly show we do called Sunday School, where we take one of the characters from the books this week and just kind of expand on them a little bit, or maybe talk about nothing to do with that, like doing Arnold Schwarzenegger.
We sometimes
impersonations.
rant and
You know.
ramble.
Yeah,
Terminator, get to the top.
yeah, yeah. I love your Twitter handle from last week. Speaking of which, Josh, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter at FaceFurr. FACEFURRR.
All right, and where can we find you, Noah?
On Facebook, /Noah O'Toole.
Still ain't gotten that Twitter account.
Not yet. We're working on it. It's eventually going to be required for class, so it's coming.
That's it took me like 3 or 4 episodes of this before I could even say my own Twitter handle.
Right.
Yeah,
Ben's
yeah.
like, here's what it is. Write it.
Yeah, it's your name.
Yeah, I was like, isn't it your name?
Yes. It's not your name. It's Bradley, BRADLEY_Butin, BUTIN.
And you can find me anywhere at Nerd Church Radio on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, although we don't really use Instagram because we are an audio podcast, so it would be kind of silly for me to be on a thing with pictures. I don't know.
We'll find a way to do something.
Dexter does it on IndieCon. He does it really well. He takes the time to make... I don't do that. Ain't no one got time for that. All right, so with that, I'm going to sign us off, but if you guys want to catch us on the post show, we will be over there. Peace be with you.
And also with you.
Peace out, Planet Earth.
Good night.